This is the 2026 Range Rover Sport Dynamic SE. Is it the luxury SUV benchmark? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Exterior color is going to be Fuji white. It's going to have a caraway and ebony interior. And here on the front end, you're going to have that classic Range Rover look. But being that this is a sport, it's going to have that far more aggressive and sporty design to it. As we work our way down, you're going to have that gloss black front spoiler. And really, we have two lower grills, the lowest, the middle lower, and the upper. The classic look overall for Range Rover. Obviously, the Range Rover name spelled out here, right here on the front end, and our Land Rover logo. You'll come down here and see your forward-facing or front view camera and all of our lighting. I know it's a little bright out here. I'm going to show you as best as I can. Here is what we have with our exterior lighting. Hit the button right there. Let you see that come to life. Exterior lighting is all LED. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. We're going to also way down here have the LED fog lights on the lower portion of the front end. I like the placement of that. That's going to work really well. Everything is functional as far as all of your vents in this area. However, I can't say that everywhere. We'll find the vent right here. That's faux. I do like that it's here. It breaks up that nice large hood, but that gloss black faux vent, that's all it is. That should be a heat extractor. We should also have this being active as well, but it's not. But again, I like that it looks nice. That way there's not an overload of the Fuji white. You're going to have the air ride suspension. These are the optional 23-inch wheels. I know somebody's going to say those are the 21s. No, they're not. They're the 23-inch wheels, gloss black. That is optional. The 21s are going to come standard. Now, side view mirrors, we're going to have gloss black. Once again, they're going to have the turn signal indicators built in and LED. They're heated, power adjustable. As you can see, they're power folding. We're going to have our blind spot monitoring built in to the side view mirror right there. Now let's talk a little bit more about these doors because we have the deployable door handles right here. So when I hit the button, that's going to automatically open. Now you'll notice the lock right here. What exactly is that for? Well, if you need to, you have a mechanical key built into the remote right here that would go into that area. And a question that I know a lot of people ask is, what do you do if the vehicle is locked and those are not deployed if you need to use that key? You're going to come right here, you're going to push and pull out just like that. It's that simple to take care of that. And one more note on these doors. Let me open this up. They're also going to be soft close. So you're going to have that soft close feature where it's going to do that on the front and rear doors. We're going to have that two-tone with our black exterior up here. That's going to make this tinted glass look a lot darker than it really is. We're going to have the shark fin antennas up top, working our way to the back. Let me get through the shot here. Our rear window spoiler or rear roof spoiler. Now your wiper is neatly concealed away right there. I like that. That works out. Once again, we're going to have the LED lighting. Nice bright LED taillights. You can see that animated effect when you turn everything on. Your towing capacity comes in at 7,716 pounds. Now you will have your power tailgate right here. And obviously, we're going to have our tailgate suite. You've got all of your lighting, not only here on the interior, but also on the top of the tailgate up there. Now, let me give you the details on your cargo capacity. 31.9 cubic feet up to 53 cubic feet. What does that equate to? 32 inches of cargo length. Behind the second row, 71.9 with the seats folded flat. And we're going to have 55.2 inches as far as the width goes. And something that, let me see if I can show you this, that is very important to a lot of people. You will have a full-size spare, that is the 23-inch, and I like that it matches the color of the wheels that you have. Now, a couple of things to talk about right here. Let's lower these seats right here. We can lower those down. It'll go down for us. There we go. And I like that I don't have to hold the buttons down. So that's going to go down automatically to maximize your cargo space. That will obviously go down if the front seat on the passenger side is all the way back. Let me pull this and we're going to bring those back. I'm going to do that. Let me come over to this side and show you something else that is really important right here. And it has to do with what we have in this area. This is how we're going to raise the rear of the vehicle up on the air ride suspension. So it's going up now. Let's show you what's going on. If you need to raise this area to load or offload cargo, look at how high up this goes. It's still climbing. It goes way up, and then I can push that button in the front or on the left-hand side if you're facing it. That's going to bring the suspension all the way back down. That's going to take care of business for you where that is concerned. And there are actually 3 different ride heights you can have on the air ride suspension. You're going to have normal, you're going to have off-road that's going to bring it up, and then you have access, which is where it's set right now. Under the hood is the inline turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. And I like to snap the cover off so we can show you what's here. You don't have to just look at plastic, but there that is. 395 horsepower, 406 pounds-feet of torque. All of that will be mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60, 5.2 seconds. Top speed is 150 miles per hour. Your MPGs come in at 20 city, 25 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Gas tank details come in with a 23.8 gallon gas tank. On a full tank of gas in the city, you should be able to drive about 476 miles. 595 miles out on the highway, you may get over 600 combined, 524 miles. All right, let's talk about what your passengers are going to find in your second row. Not a 3-row SUV, but we're going to have 2 rows here. Let's see what's going on with the door panel first. You're going to have the button for the window. You can adjust the seat right there, the seat back. Nice large armrest, and we're going to also have a nice large door bin down there. You can also lock and unlock the doors. Now, let me show you real quick what goes on. I told you that you have that control right there. Here's what it actually does as far as that goes. So you can bring a little bit of recline in if you want to. Now, I'm going to hop in here. This seat is a little bit far back, just so you can see. I still have a decent amount of space. I could be okay for a little while here. I don't know that I want to ride like that for too long, but that's the situation. Air conditioning vent-wise, not only do we have the vents right here in the roof area, we're also going to have these vents here. Now, this is actually just protective covering, this white that you see right here. But you've got your dual zone climate control, 3 and 4 zones. So 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and then we can control everything from our fan speed. We can do that if we want to. Turn that back down, we push that in. Now, these are only going to be heated seats. So if we turn it this way, you'll notice nothing's going to happen. We're going to have the ventilated seats not available, at least on this particular model, not spec'd in. We'll find our power outlet right here and some USB charging above that, as well as a 12-volt. Quite a bit going on. Now, you've got your coat hanger right here. Whatever you want to hang on to that, you can do that. You've also got the hanger right here, if so desired. Quite a few different things you can plug in and out there if you want to. We're going to have our panoramic sunroof up here. I do have the shade drawn forward. The front portion will open, but you can bring this back and forth depending on what you need to do. And last but not least, let me look right here and show you what's going on. We're going to have this area for storage, and then our cup holders will be right here as well. The sticker price is $104,175. If you need that $5, I promise I'll give it to you to get you over the hump. Let's see what else you get for that price. We're going to have the clear sight rear view mirror right here. It's going to help you out quite a bit depending on what you need to do. Home link is on the left-hand side right here, and then right here I can push the button to determine what I am adjusting. So if I need to adjust the height, maybe I'm not happy with where that is, we can also adjust brightness. You can see that. And that's going to be our situation where that is concerned. Or you can use that as a conventional rear view mirror if you want to. Up here, we're going to have the controls for obviously our lighting, all that good stuff. Here's where you're going to control your power shade and open and close the sunroof. And then we'll work our way down. And we're going to have the upper and the lower glove boxes. Now, the upper glove box, we're going to open just like this, and you have to open that. As you can see, you'll have the 12-volt over there. I'll open that up real quick and show you what's going on where that's concerned. And then we're going to push the button right here, and that's all you have to do to open that conventional glove box down there, the conventional position. Now, I like that you have seat memory on the passenger side, controls for managing the positioning of your seats. Lumbar support is actually in the screen. I'll show you that shortly. Nice large armrest and the nice large door bin located beneath that. And we'll work our way over here to the driver's side. Once again, we're going to have seat memory, everything for our side view mirrors. If I need to, I can push that button right there and fold those power folding side view mirrors in there and adjust the mirrors, all that good stuff. Lock your windows, all that stuff is here. And one touch down, one touch up for your windows at all four corners. And then show you a little bit of what's going on here as far as our other controls go. You have the power adjustable steering wheel. The adjustment is right here. Tilt and telescopically adjustable. Here's everything for your front and rear window wipers and your headlights, your fog lights, and your blinkers. For those of you who have spent time in blinker school, turn signal school, and I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. Now you can't really see it very well because it's so bright, but there is a head-up display. You can adjust that. In fact, I'll show you. What I'm going to do is push the button right here, and that's going to bring up all of our different details here as far as the vehicle goes. Your controls, everything that you need is going to be here. Vehicle settings will be here, and you can see what we have where that is concerned. We arrow back out of that depending on what we need to do. And you can see that it has a nice modern look to it with the digital speedometer. You're going to have your navigation over there on the right hand side. Everything for your cruise control will be here. And also we're going to have our shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel. And we'll work our way over here to the Pivi Pro infotainment screen. I'm going to select right there. You have to push a little bit on there and you'll hear that sound and you'll feel it actually work on the screen. Here is where we come to adjust the seating. Now, remember I told you earlier, this is where you're going to find everything for lumbar support and things like that. There's lumbar, cushion, bolsters, headrest. You can adjust all of that there. And the arrows are going to let you know which direction you're working in and where you're working. You can do that. We've got more right here just to show you what you can do. If you want to fold your seats, you can do that. If you have a chauffeur driving you around, you can push the button right here and that will move the passenger seat up and give the passenger on that side a little bit more space if you want to do that. And then seat heat is not something we need today in the front or the rear because it's heading for the mid-90s here in Northwest Louisiana. We're going to try to be finished before that temperature gets here. And as far as your vehicle goes right here, you can see what we have as far as our different driving modes go. You're going to have a few different driving modes. As you can see, comfort, eco, auto terrain, grass, gravel, and snow, sand, mud, and ruts, and then your wade mode will be right there. So it will actually let you know on another screen how deep of a water you can drive through. And we're going to come right here because I want to show you your different icons. So here's what's going to happen. Cameras, they're everywhere. You can see everywhere you need to. You can also select where you're seeing. There's our rear view camera. If you want to see from a completely different angle from the rear or from the front, you can obviously choose that accordingly. It just depends on where you want to see and what you want to see. We can also come and do the same thing right there, as you can see. Our 3D view is also here if you want to take advantage of that. And quite a bit going on here that you just need to work your way through. We will have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you want to use either one of those to pair your smartphone to the vehicle. And it is done wirelessly. Work our way through a little bit more right here. You do have your cabin lighting. Now, as far as your interior lighting goes, if it's not on, well, there's how you turn it on. And you can come in here, you can turn different areas on and off and do whatever you need to with that. You can adjust that as you need to. And audio, I know that's a big deal for a lot of people to adjust your treble, your bass, or your subwoofer. Here's where you're going to do that. Just showing you a few of the things that are here that I know a lot of you are looking for. You can have your quick access here. Now, if you want to change from the dark to the light theme, I'm using the dark because it shows up better on the screen. And then we'll come right back here. There's navigation, phone. If you need to pair your phone, that's where you're going to do that. Media. You can see what all is here. Your slope assist, it's going to let you know what kind of slope you're on as far as the degrees go. And then we're going to have our compass right there. We also have our wheel info. I'll just show you what's going on with that real fast. If I turn the front tires, you can see that actually happening in real time and give you all that good detail as far as that goes. We'll come back here and show you a little bit more of what's going on. Here is weight sensing. I told you a little bit about this earlier, and there it is. 2 feet 11 inches is the maximum that you can drive through, but that's actually not too bad. If you want to turn the auto stop start off, or you use your hill start assist, any of that stuff can be done right here. Traction control, all of that's going to be here, and you can come in here and change from feet to meters if you want to, depending on who you are and where you live and how you want to set things up as far as that goes. And then just to show you a little bit more of what's here, our driving is right there. That's going to give us some information on economy, speed, all that good stuff is here. Energy impact, there's your energy impact. Just some neat little things that are here with some pretty cool graphics as far as that goes. And obviously when I go into reverse, we're going to get those cameras once again. You do have your park assist that's going to help you out if you need that. And we'll work our way down. We've got this area right here. You can see what's going on right there. The charging pad is going to be here. Now there's no USB in here. There's actually 2 USB ports. One of them is over on this side. We do have a pass-through right down here. The driver's side right here. Here is the driver's. I don't know if you can see that, but it's over here close to the driver, right down there where my finger is. You do have a little bit of storage space there. And our shifter is here. I like how that fits neatly in the palm of my hand. There is a button on the front you have to push to make that work. And then we can push the P to go back into park. We also have the piano black finish in quite a few areas, so be careful not to fingerprint that up or have your microfiber cloth nearby. And I can conceal this area away right here, or I can make that accessible with the cup holders, and underneath that is a little bit more storage, and there is another USB port. I told you there was a couple. There's actually a lot of space in here. And last but not least, now you do have a couple of armrests right here, but you can use the center console lid as an armrest if you want to. You can open that up, and it's really nice and cool in there right now because I've got it turned on with our refrigerated console. So a lot of good options here with this Range Rover Sport. For those who are interested, here's a quick sampling of the Meridian sound system. Okay, but I don't want to go too long on that, but I hope it satisfies those of you who want to hear it. All right, here we go on our test drive, and as you can imagine, with the air ride suspension, you are going to have a very comfortable ride quality. Super roomy in both first and second rows, no shortage of space where that's concerned. And a lot of adjustability built in here between the driver's seat and the steering wheel, so everybody should be just fine as far as that goes. Easy to see out of, I like that. When you drive up to something in front of you, if you're going to run into something, one of your sensors goes off, you're going to see your cameras come up on the center screen and let you know what's going on there. Now, when you get to 15 miles an hour, just as is the case with the suspension going back to the normal setting, the cameras will go off. There are some vehicles out there that you can leave the cameras on at any speed, but Range Rovers are not those models. No Land Rover model, at least as of this time when I'm filming this video, is that the case. And with all-wheel drive, you have so many great options. It seems strange to talk about this right now, but somebody might be watching this video several months after I made it. So it may be a situation where you live in a cold climate, and that is something you're thinking about. Wow, what am I going to do when it gets really cold and we get a lot of snow and ice? You're not going to have to worry about anything. I'm waiting for some of this traffic to clear. Make sure we don't pull out in front of anybody and get a viral video for all the wrong reasons. Now we can make our turn and talk about something else that is very useful here, which is a nice tight turning radius. Now, even though it's a 6-cylinder, you can still get on it and go down the road with absolutely no problem. Now, there are V8s available for the Range Rover Sport, a V8 engine. If you want to take advantage of that, you can. I know a lot of people say, I don't want that 6-cylinder, but there are some vehicles out there that have gone from a 6-cylinder to only a 4-cylinder. So at least you still have that option here. For those of you that are more of a fan of the 6-cylinder, it's going to get down the road for you just fine. Not everybody wants something that does 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. So that works out really well. The technology here is easy to learn and use. I like that. That's not a big deal. I do wish, the one thing I do wish was different here would be physical controls for the air conditioning. As I showed you earlier, all of that is in the center screen. So it would be nice to have that the way it once was in the past. I know it gives it a much cleaner look as far as not having those controls down here on the center console area, but as far as having to go to the screen for that, personally, that's not something I'm crazy about. I'm curious to know, if you own a Range Rover or Range Rover Sport, how have you adjusted to that? Do you like it? Do you not? What do you think? I'm always curious to know. Gas and brake pedal, easy to manage, easy to adjust to. Overall, a very well-rounded vehicle. And there it is, the 2026 Range Rover Sport Dynamic SE. Is it the luxury SUV benchmark? Tell me what you think in the comments. And you can see now that I have it in that off-road positioning with the suspension. That will go back to normal at 15 miles per hour. Same thing with Access, where it has that more aggressive, sporty look. But tell me what you think. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning us this Range Rover Sport for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's helpful and greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.